The build show today, we're in my parking lot of my office and I've set up a little backyard test, shall we say. We're gonna be testing roofing on a real hot day. In fact, in Texas, it's 4 o'clock here at the last day of June, 98 degrees outside, ambient temperature right now. So what I've got lined up for you here is a little backyard test. 2 flavors of metal roofing, black and a silver, and then a standard asphalt shingle. I'm really curious, in the heat of the day, what kind of temperatures are these getting? And you know, I've heard about this kind of cool roof technology that metal roofs have that reflect back some of the sun's rays, some of the sun's heat, so that even a black metal roof, which I actually have on my house, is better and cooler than asphalt. Today's build show, we're gonna run through all the nerdy details. Let's see what I found out with a couple of these devices. Sponsored by the Metal Roofing Alliance. Let's get going. Okay, so first off, just a couple $100 FLIR infrared that fits onto my iPhone. Let's see what the temperatures look like. We're gonna start with the black shingles. And it looks like the black shingle surface temperature around 150 degrees. The silver colored roof, 137. And the black shingle roof, black asphalt roof that is, 182, let's call it. And then as a, just as a reference, the black asphalt in my parking lot is reading around 142 degrees on this sunny Texas day. Okay, now that we're done with the FLIR and we got those results, let's check with an IR gun. Now, I was reading about these infrared guns. I've heard that the emissivity, basically the amount of reflectance from the different spectrum of the sun, can cause some problems with getting a correct reading on an infrared gun. So what I'm gonna do is use a piece of black tape on the silver metal roof, and we're gonna measure the temperature at the black tape, which is gonna be taped down. So let's start with the same order, and I actually put some black tape on this black shingle as well, black metal shingle. And if you zoom in here, we're at 134. And if I measure at the black tape, I'm at 142. So there is a slight difference between the two. And then on the silver roof, if I just go right on the metal itself, 126. But if I measure up here at the black tape, I'm 130. Let's call it 130. And then the asphalt, oh my gosh, at the surface of the shingle, 163. Holy cow, that is real darn hot. And I put a piece of black tape over here. Let's just see if there's any difference. Oh, it's about the same. 163, let's call it. Okay, that's the front side of the roof. Now, I actually have some thermometers on the back side. Once y'all come around back here, black metal roof. Remember that surface temperature was pretty hot. The inside, the quote-unquote attic temperature on this one, 120. Going down to the silver roof, 121. By the way, these are $20 thermometers, so there may be some error in the thermometers. I'd say that's the same result, basically. And 131, so this is 11 degrees, 10 degrees hotter. Let's say those two attics are pretty darn similar. I think the best temperature, though, to really get the best reading is going to be infrared gun on the back side of the roof deck. So let me cut some holes real quick, and then we can get some temperatures. Stay tuned. Stand by. Okay. All right. Let's put my hand in here. 129 is the back side. Okay, next one. Oops. All right, let's see what we got here. Interesting, 122. Couple degrees cooler. This is the silver metal compared to the black metal. It's a little bit cooler. Now let's go to the back side of the asphalt and see where we're at here. got here? 141. 141. All right, it's a little hot. My sunscreen's wearing off. Let me compile the data. Let me meet you back in the studio and let's break this down. Whew. Hot Texas day out there. Last week it actually hit like 105 and the humidity's been really high as well. Okay, let's break this down, guys. We made a little chart in a minute or two here before we finish this video up. And I think this chart tells some of the numbers. Remember, this is backyard testing. This is not some UL labs here. But for instance, if you look at the IR gun surface on the chart, this is very interesting. We're talking about a 37-degree delta between this silver metal shingle and the asphalt shingle, the kind of regular shingle, and a 29-degree delta between the black. I mean, looks to me like the same color black as the asphalt, but this is nearly 30 degrees cooler on the surface. And then my kind of inside ambient temperature, my, I don't know, attic temperature, the black and the silver were darn close, 120, 121, 10 degrees hotter on the asphalt. And probably the best reading, I suspect, at the real delta is the inside the deck temperatures that I got. And inside the deck, underneath when I put that IR gun in there, 19-degree delta between the silver and the asphalt, and a 12-degree delta on the black metal versus the black asphalt. Very interesting. I was hoping to demonstrate how much cooler metal with a high-performance coating would be, and I think this test really nailed it. It makes sense kind of mentally that a silver coating like this happens to be, by the way, bright silver. Both of these were from Ideal Roofing. This is their Wakefield Bridge shingle. Ideal sent these to me as samples for the video. Thank you for those guys. Bright silver, and this is black mica. And it kind of mentally makes sense that the silver would be cooler, but the fact that black was really not much hotter, I like that. And I mentioned earlier in the video, I have a black metal roof on my house here in Texas, and it's definitely cooler than my neighbors that have asphalt shingles. I don't quite understand the Cool Roof technology, but I do understand that there's some solar reflective pigments inside the special paints they're using on these black metals. And obviously those reflective pigments are doing their job, because we got some really visible differences, especially, like I said earlier, black to black, which I thought would have a pretty similar temperature. Let's close it out here. A couple things I wanted to mention as we close. If you're in a heat-prone area, which is probably why you're watching this video, you might also be prone to wildfires. And I thought about trying to incorporate some type of fire test here. Maybe we can do that in the future. I couldn't mentally quite figure out how to do that would make sense. But when you're thinking metal, remember, you can get a Class A rated metal roof when it comes to fire. That's the highest class rating. There's a bunch of components that go into that, though. It's not just the metal roof itself or the metal shingle itself. Obviously, metal doesn't burn. Underlayments factor a big part in that Class A rating, the install, and then overall, if you're in a fire-prone area, we need to think about ventilation. You don't want a vented attic if you're in a fire-prone area. You don't want those embers sucking in. That's how people's houses catch fire, by sucking those embers in. So there's a lot to it. Maybe that's a future video. I think that would be fascinating. A couple other things I want to mention too. If you're thinking metal, you want to ensure that your installer uses quality materials from a reputable manufacturer that offers a good, solid warranty. Check to see if they're a member of industry-leading organizations like Metal Roofing Alliance that sponsored this video. They really have some high standards. They've got some great manufacturers that are part. You can find that on their website. And if you want a little additional research, by the way, on the MRA website, they've got the Residential Metal Roofing Buyer's Guide, which is great. You should definitely download that. And let me leave you with this final thought. Metal roofs definitely can save energy. I think we've proven that here and showed that. But there's another reason why I really like them: longevity and durability. These roofs should last easily 2 or really 3 times longer than that asphalt shingle roof. And that's the big reason why I've been installing metal roofs since I started my company in 2005. That's almost all I put on. With a very few exceptions, I put metal on everything I build. It's a much longer lasting roof. And when you do rip that off someday, in 50 years or 75 years plus, when you're ready for a new roof, that metal is 100% recyclable. Asphalt shingles, a lot of them end up in the landfills. There are some recycling programs, they're not very nationwide, they're not utilized as often as they should be. Metal, super valuable, 100% recyclable. Guys, big thanks to the Metal Roofing Alliance for sponsoring today's video. As I said earlier, I love metal. I've done it on a lot of houses and I'm going to continue to do it. And this kind of backyard testing that I did today really proves that really no matter which color you go with metal, including the darker colors, you've got a superior roof out there. I've done a bunch of metal roofing related videos over the years in all kinds of different styles and shapes and manufacturers and standing seam and shingles and all kinds of stuff. I really like metal. I'll put a playlist in the description if you want to see more of my videos about metal and what I like about it, including a whole series I did on my past house and my current house that I build. But if you're not currently a subscriber, guys, hit that subscribe button below. We've got new content every Tuesday and every Friday. Follow me on TikTok or Instagram. Otherwise, we'll see you next time on The Build Show.